So this mistake happened on the Wednesday coming home from the test centre. So this moped was driving 40 mile an hour or so on the 70 mile an hour road. Now you got really close to him. So if I pause you there, you can see the distance between the front of your car there and the back of his car there at a speed of about 40 mile an hour. That's way too close. So I was just telling you to slow down very quickly. And then you tried to change lanes, but the lane to your right had this car and had cars behind it. It was very busy. It wasn't safe to change lanes, so I had to stop you from changing lanes. And now you got even more closer to the motorbike. This is quite dangerous. So if the moped is going, even if it's going at 30 mile an hour on the 70 mile an hour road, you've got no choice but to drop your speed down and maintain a proper safe 2-second gap from the moped. Then when it's safe to change lanes, then you can change lanes if it's safe. If it's not safe, just remain behind the moped at a safe distance of 2 seconds, whatever speed that may be. Now this left turn is right outside Loughton Test Centre. It's quite a sharp turn. You were doing it wrong in the beginning, because as you were approaching the give way line, you had your car still at an angle facing that way. You need to get your car facing straight. So you had your car facing that way. So when you turned, you went really wide, and it's a serious dangerous fault, because the oncoming car, you ended up in their lane before you got back to your lane. Just wait for the traffic to die down, and then you're going to make the turn. So now you ended up turning wide into the oncoming car's lane, and it's quite dangerous because the oncoming car has to slow down or it will hit you. And then we eventually did it again. This time we approached the give way junction and we had our car straight as we approached it, and that allowed you to turn left without encroaching into the oncoming car's lane. So the trick is get your car straight at the give way here. So now you're facing straight, and then when you turn left you can keep it in your lane. Before you were facing a bit to the right, and then when you turn you end up going wide. So here we end up keeping in our lane as we turn. So we approached this roundabout and the sat nav said cross the roundabout, third exit, Harlow and Epping. Now you see the lane you're approaching in, this lane, it's only really big enough for one car. So when you're going right, don't try and keep yourself far to the right, because even if you keep yourself to the right, another car won't be able to fit beside you. And the problem was at the time, you went so close to this curb here, I thought you were going to hit it. So next time, just keep yourself in the center of your lane. Right, and the next time we done it, your position was a lot better. You weren't too far over to the right, near the right hand curb here. So see here, this time it's a big difference. You're more in the center of your lane, and it makes it easier for you to join the roundabout without having to worry about hitting the curb. Also, when you join the roundabout, inside the roundabout, there's only one lane in this roundabout. You were going in too close to the curb on the right, then moving away from it, then coming back close to it. Just stay in the center of the big lane. So here, as you went in, now you're getting too close to this curb on the right, then you're moving away from it, then you're turning and you're going to get close to it again now. You're getting too close to it again now. So you're going in and out, in and out. Best thing, just stay in the middle of the lane throughout. We were turning right at this junction and you had to go and wait in the middle. Now what you need to do is look to your right and make sure you don't go beyond your reference point, which is the middle of the road you're turning onto, with your right wing mirror. You went too far forward and we just about luckily made the turn without hitting this curb here or getting stuck at that curb there. So you see here, as you turn, you just about scraped it through. You luckily went through. Now some roads might not be as big as this one and you won't make it through. So make sure you use this middle line, which is the middle point of this road, with your right wing mirror, and that will help you stay in the correct position. Okay, and this is the second time we've done it, and this time you did a lot better. and we managed to make the turn a lot easier. You can even see in the camera that you don't get too close to the curb. Okay, now down this road, it's kind of like a carbon copy of what happened on the motorway with the moped. You've got a cyclist in front of you, and just be aware the line next to you is a solid line. You cannot cross this line, so you cannot overtake this cyclist. Now the problem is you got way too close to the cyclist, and I think I had to brake there. I braked for you. You were getting way too close to the cyclist. So let's rewind it again. So this, you can see where the cyclist is there. You should be keeping a big gap, at least where two other cars can drive in between you. And that's where I braked. You see where the end of your car is and where the bike is, so close. You should never be getting this close to anything. A bike, a car, anything. If the bike is going slow, you have no choice but to go slow. Keep a safe gap where two other cars could drive in between you, or ideally a 2-second gap. So your safe space, the safe gap in front, is more important than maintaining the speed limit. Speed limit is not a target. You must keep a safe gap from the vehicle or the cyclist in front before you consider doing the speed limit. Okay, now your next fault was around this bend. Now you're keeping way too far away from the curb, your left-hand curb, and when this white car approaches, they slow down, you have to slow down, and you've kind of blocked their path. So if you keep more close to the curb on the left, is better, because you don't know what's coming around the corner. So if you see it, the second look, you don't know what's coming around that corner. You should be keeping yourself close to the curb on the left, keeping yourself very slow, anticipating a car is coming. But what you've done is now you've moved too far away from the curb. So the center line would have been somewhere here. You've gone too far over to the right, and then you've had to move back over to the left again when you see that car. So anticipate a car is coming and keep yourself to the left throughout bends like this. Okay, now we got to this crossroad. Tells us to give way on the floor. There was no cars coming from your left or your right, and this vehicle wasn't signaling left or right, so they're going straight. They're not signaling either, they're going straight. And you just kept on waiting, and then I eventually had to tell you, let's get going, because there's nothing coming from your left or right, and the vehicles ahead are not turning either. So this was the situation at the crossroad. That's you there. There's two cars ahead of you, and they're not signaling, so they're coming straight. On your left, there's nothing coming. On your right, there's nothing coming. So here I prompted you to carry on because there was nothing coming from your left or your right, and these cars were not signaling, which meant they were coming straight ahead. Then we came to this situation where the road is very narrow, and this blue car's pulling in to let you pass. This car's also pulling in to let you pass. Now behind us there's it's like gridlock. Cars can't really get through. These cars can't really go past unless we move forward and clear the way. Now the van is blocking your way, but in a moment, now you can see ahead. You should really be checking your left mirror now and going around that van. There's no cars coming out of that give way. You were just waiting there, and eventually I had to tell you, let's get going. Check your left mirror and let's get going. If you don't move, the gridlock doesn't get free. So the road is clogged up, and the release is us moving forward, and that will make all the cars behind you move forward, and the oncoming cars that are waiting there will also get going once we've cleared the way. So this was the situation. The van is there, the black van, and this is you. This white van is parked up and it's blocking these cars. Now unless you move forward, the van and these cars will continue to stay blocked. So you need to move forward, so then the cars behind you move forward, and that eases the blockage, and this car can go, and then the next car can go, and the next car can go, then the van can go. So unless you move forward, this situation will not change, because this white van is parked up. So you are the release to this blockage. Next problem, we're approaching this bend to the right, and now you're not really anticipating that a car is coming because your position is in the center of the road. So you're kind of driving bang in the center of the road. You should be driving more to the left, which is your lane, in case a car is coming around that corner. So once you see a car coming, now you kind of panic there and you kind of stop and steer a little bit, and they've also had to stop. So you should have been more to the left. If I rewind it, you should have been more to the left here, and that way you'd be able to see that car and stop more comfortably. You'd be able to see it and you wouldn't have to stop in the middle of the road. You'd be on the left and they could probably get through.